Bullish is coming off a record quarter with strong growth across trading, liquidity services, and its recently launched options business. To talk more about the quarter, choppy crypto markets, and where Bullish is headed next, we want to welcome in our next guest. That's Tom Farley, CEO of Bullish. Tom, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hope you had a wonderful holiday, first off. Let's get into it. You had a record quarter recently. Congratulations on the quarter. You had strength in trading, liquidity services, and derivatives. What would you say were the drivers?
It's great to see you, old friend. I was thinking about you as I was in the waiting room and hoping you had a great Thanksgiving. And I'm almost too afraid to ask how old your boy is. Because it'll make me feel old. I remember when you were with child. So Bullish is doing great. There's this minor matter of a 30% downdraft in crypto prices. So I don't want to just gloss over that, and that impacts us as it impacts other market infrastructure providers in crypto. But we are a international exchange for crypto and crypto derivatives. And we also operate, as you may know, Diane, the #1 media business in crypto known as CoinDesk. And so all those businesses have been hitting on all cylinders. We have a number of exciting growth initiatives, including a launch here in the U.S. We stayed out of the U.S. because of the, I'll call it, uncertain regulatory environment during the last administration, which is now far more certain. So we've launched in the U.S., we've launched options, as you mentioned, and we're really just doing whatever our customers are telling us they need for this coming kind of crypto innovation that I'm pretty excited about.
I appreciate you mentioning the crypto markets because, I noticed when your earnings came out, you all had a strong quarter, but it seemed like, the reaction was just in sympathy with whatever is happening with crypto. So, I know that downdraft has been tough. Let's talk about the options launch and the execution there. I know that's a strategic milestone for you all. What's your read on early customer behavior and interest there?
Yeah, to your viewers, it may be interesting to understand just a little bit more about the market structure in crypto. So in the early days, the vast majority of trading in crypto was in what's called spot trading. And in crypto, what that means is literally instantaneous trading. In other words, I'll give you a dollar represented as a token, a stable coin, and you give me a Bitcoin at the exact same time, and we're done. And then what happened is there was this new type of trading called perpetual futures that really took off. But in some respects, that perpetual futures product is not a really great one for customers, in particular if it's traded with 100 times leverage, and in particular if exchanges have reckless policies about closing out those positions. So we actually see the biggest growth opportunity in crypto in just good old-fashioned options. So your viewers may trade equity options or maybe FX options or what have you, and they're very easy to understand. They don't have those same reckless policies. And the growth of options trading in crypto is 2 or 3 times the growth of other forms of crypto trading, spot or the perpetual futures that I mentioned before. So we jumped in with both feet, and it's going very well. We're only in day 21 or 22, business day 21 or 22 of the launch, and already we've passed a number of the other options market participants in terms of volume and open interest. The market, it feels like, is really starving for adult compliant providers of market infrastructure who don't do things like close their customers out recklessly late on a Friday night if they have a perfectly collateralized account, which is what we saw in crypto, unfortunately, back on October 10th.
Hey, Tom. So today, ringing the opening bell, you've got the chair of the SEC here. Paul Atkins is here today. One of the things I noticed coming into the exchange, and you remember the days when you come in, you have the different signage, and it says "Make IPOs Great Again." So I have a couple questions for you. When you think about the IPO, you all went public this year. You've been a part of taking many companies public. When they make the framing "Make IPOs Great Again," what does that say to you?
First of all, it just brings a smile to my face to hear you talk about the opening bell. When I left that job as president of the New York Stock Exchange, I didn't realize at the time, but that's probably the one single thing I missed the most. Those 1,000 times I got to ring the bell and hear the sweet sound of free enterprise, Diane. So I'm glad that Chair Paul Atkins is there. I've had the privilege of spending some time with him as recently as 2 weeks ago, and it's very clear he sees an on-chain future for major financial markets. By on-chain, I mean on responsible, publicly available blockchains, and seeing major asset classes, potentially even U.S. equities. I'm putting words into his mouth now. Potentially even U.S. equities or securities moving on-chain in a big way. That's very exciting. And with respect to IPOs, Diane, like the truth is, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And we still see problems in the traditional IPO structure. And I'm not blaming anyone. Look, I was a part of 400 IPOs, but just look at the Bullish IPO. We did everything we could to have a nice, smooth open and make sure investors were protected. And notwithstanding that, the stock traded up to we took it public at $37 and went up to $120. By the end of the day, it was down, I don't remember the exact number, $80, $90. And so on-chain, more transparent, Dutch auctions, allowing more people to be able to participate in IPOs. I think that's a tidal wave that we're not going to be able to hold back, and I think it's a good thing. Then I expect we'll be seeing a lot more of that from exchanges like Bullish, frankly, and companies like Bullish who seek to go public. And so I expect to see plenty more of that in the years to come.
Tom, let me ask you this. The Clarity Act, I know that's something that has been slowly making progress. What's your take on where things stand with that now?
Great question. And for your viewers, the Clarity Act is code for a so-called overarching market structure bill to emanate out of Congress that will provide very clear rules of the road for the vast majority of crypto tokens. So there's already a bill for stablecoins called the Genius Act, and then the next one coming down the pike is the Clarity Act, which may be renamed. But Diane, you're not used to seeing me in a suit these days. I actually dressed up for you, but I also dressed up for the U.S. Senate. And so the reason why I'm not there with you in person is I'll be going down today to meet with a number of U.S. senators working on that bill. I'm optimistic that that bill will come to pass. It's already passed the House. I think some version of it will likely pass the Senate, probably early next year. It really better be early next year, because if it isn't early next year, you get into the election cycle and it could get lost in the shuffle. So I expect early next year to see a market structure bill come out of the Senate and ultimately be signed by the president. I think that would be a very good thing for crypto writ large, but it's not a promise because there's still thorny issues for Congress to work through. The future exactly of DeFi and what does it look like? The ability for a yield to be paid on so-called stable coins. These issues are still working their ways through the halls of the Senate, but it feels good. It feels bipartisan. I've met with a number of Democratic senators. I'll be meeting with 2 more Democratic senators, a Republican senator. Both sides of the aisle want to see something get done here.
Okay, Tom, we'll have to leave our conversation there for time. I always enjoy talking with you, whether it's on the sidelines or on air right now. That is Tom Farley, CEO of Bullish. Also, happy early birthday. I know you've got a birthday coming up.
It's a round number. It's a round number. You're much young. You're much younger than me, so please enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts.
It's fine. It's fine. You'll be fine. All right. Thank you, Tom.